I got to be honest with you guys. It feels good to be reviewing a belt again. It's been too long. I can't remember the last one I did. All I can tell you is we are currently on episode 15 of the Belt Chronicles. That puts that. There's 4 weeks in a month, a little over 3 months that I've been doing this series. And to be able to review another belt, knowing that I got 4 more coming, puts me in a better mood, right? Right now, we're going to jump out of this little intro into the unboxing, how this belt arrived to me, and then we'll come back to this. All right, so this thing just came in 2-3 minutes ago. This is the 20th of March. New belt day, new used belt day, whatever you want to call it, but it's new to me, right? So I just turned the box around so my shipping label is not visible, but bought this one used. This is the one I was teasing in the last Belt Chronicles episode about the big gold. And the reason why we're not filming over at the kitchen table is because it is quite a mess. If you guys saw what my kitchen table looks like in between filming stuff, you'd think I'm the biggest pack rat in the world. But, alright. Let's see. I'm excited for 2 reasons. Number one, I've always kind of liked this belt but never loved it. And I just the seller had a good price on it. Number two, it's a Nawaz made belt. And I don't have a Nawaz belt yet. But I do now. I'm excited to see how his leather feels, how his plates look, that sort of stuff. Get this bubble wrap off. There we go. Okay, what is that? There's a gemstone that came off. I'll just glue that back in. I got gem tack downstairs. That's no big deal. She needs a cleaning, but besides that, all good. Tooling is done very nice. Snapbox texturing is nice. Everything so far is looking good from what I remember from my Belt Chronicles episode. I think this is SD, but that still for SD, it's pretty legible. Because I don't think so. I paid $330 for this if you include shipping, and I don't think somebody would sell a SD that might be HD. That's some really clear small text. But for $300, I paid $30 for the shipping. I'm totally happy with this. And yes, it does have the croc scan on the back, the brown croc scan. We're going to get all the specifics and the burnished edges or not burnished edges or all that sort of stuff in the review, but this is just the unboxing. So I'm going to set this down and sign off for now. Don't blink because we're going right back to the review. So as you saw with the unboxing, I did lose a stone while opening it. I'm just going to blame that on the post office. Sorry, UPS. I think it was UPS that delivered. Yeah. I'll chalk that up to what happened in transit. But aside from that, that's the only one that fell out. I got adhesive downstairs. I'm just going to glue it back in at some point. I just wanted to shoot the video and get it out of the way. Speaking of which, I haven't done a review in a while. And far be it me to break from tradition, right? So it's a review. We're going to have a drink. So what are we drinking today? Well, since it was just recently, about a week ago, 10 days ago, St. Patrick's Day, do a little Irish whiskey. I prefer this over Bushmills, and I prefer this over Jameson. Some really good, smooth Irish whiskey. About, in the States, $25 a bottle, something like that. Around St. Patrick's Day, they got it marked down to like $19.99, $18, somewhere in there. But I'm going to get a drink. Hang on. It tastes so good. Okay. So, everybody knows Big Eagle debuted the night after WrestleMania, March 30th, 98. The original maker was Jamar. If you haven't seen my Belt Chronicles episode on the Big Eagle, I encourage you to go check that one out. A lot of detailed stuff in there. This belt came to me used. I did not buy this new from Muhammad Nawaz, but he is the maker. A guy on a belt page posted a few belts for sale, and this is the one that I ended up getting. This is, from what I could tell, in HD, just based off the how crisp the lettering is, and we'll get into that. An HD Muhammad Nawaz block logo, Big Eagle, and I paid $300 plus shipping, so my total came to $330. And I paid, Jeff was the guy's name. I'm not gonna use his full name because I didn't ask him if it was okay, right? But his first name's Jeff, and I bought it Monday morning, like early. I messaged him Sunday night, and he got back with me Monday morning, and I paid him right there on the spot. Monday afternoon, I had a tracking number, and it arrived this past Thursday. So very easy to do business with him, and very fast shipping on his part, getting it to UPS, and UPS doing their job way better than the Postal Service, and getting it here to my door. So, like I said, $300 plus shipping. So you have the block logo, and you have what I deem to be 24 karat gold plating. I've had a few belts that weren't 24 karat gold. This looks like 24 karat to me. He did get a few things. He got the strap 99% right. There's one little thing he needs to do. But speaking of the strap, we'll start with the snaps. So as you can see on the back end there, they are 2x7 male snaps. And that is correct. That's consistent with the original that was on TV. Now, there was the Arnold version, the version they gave to Schwarzenegger on an episode of SmackDown. That one was 2x6. But the ring used one that Kane walked out of the cell that night with after, because remember, they did King in the Ring 98, and they brought the cell down during the first blood match between Austin and Kane. So I have a photo of Kane leaving the cell with it, and you can see that it is 2x7. And then over here, it is 2x10. And he does do the Jamar snapbox texturing, where it almost looks like there's not texturing, but when you compare it to the rest of the strap, you can see it is somewhat different. There is a little bit of texture there. So he did get that right. He did do the brown croc skin backing, which was common for Jamar in 1998. You also see that on the purple Intercontinental that The Rock had and Triple H had. Which, speaking of that, the oval Intercontinental is going to be the next episode of the Belt Chronicles next Sunday. So the correct plate details that I see are obviously the artwork. You know, he didn't do the WWE shop thing where they got the portion where Canada and like the northwest of the United States is like at a right angle. He's got his artwork right. The texturing on the side plates is a really nice touch. You know, that's if you compare this to the scratch logo Big Eagle that shop has, you'll see they forget to do that for some reason. And they may even, I'll have to go look, they may even forget to do it on the block logo. But that's real nice. He also does on the outer side plates too. And this thing, it's a fairly heavy belt. It's probably 7 pounds, I would say. 7.5 maybe. But so that's pretty much the nuts and bolts, except for the fact that I really think this is HD because look at that lettering. That text is so legible, unless his SD is just that good. We've heard that about Ali and Nas, but I mean that text right there. Let me tap the phone to get it to focus. Come on. There we go. That's very legible. If that is SD, that is impressive. Like I said, for $300, I don't know if $300 belt can be, if someone would sell an HD belt for $300. But regardless, I'm very impressed with how legible the lettering is, like the devil's in the detail sort of stuff. You usually get that to be very, very blurry. If you don't believe me, go see the SD stacked Big Eagle that X-Man made me, and come back and look at this one. Worlds apart. The sidebars are cut out, just like the original, where you can get down to the leather strap that's here, and that's consistent with the original one. the curve. So this is one thing that always stopped me from ordering a Muhammad Nawaz belt, was the curve, because I always feel like he overcurves the belts. It's all season to taste, right? Some people love that, some people don't. I personally don't. I think a curve can change a belt drastically in a good or bad direction. A lot of Nawaz belts that I've seen floating around on YouTube and on belt pages are not necessarily curved as much as they are bent, right? It's like he took them and bent them around the pole and just kept going too far. And to coin the Mendoza phrase, taco shell, I've heard him describe in the past, it's fairly accurate with a lot of Nawaz's stuff, I feel like. But this one, he did very, very well in terms of the curve. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video so I can take the phone off the phone holder, and then I'll be right back. All right. So you can see it's not an egregious curve, right? It's nothing too terrible. I can get my hand under there. But looking at it from it being straight on, it's not a terrible, overly done curve. I think it's very nice. I think as far as Nawaz belts go, this is very mild in terms of curve, and I actually enjoy this one. So now I'm going to put it back on the phone holder, so I'm going to cut again. All right. And I find this curve to be perfect, as well as the curve on the side plates, I think, are perfect. You cannot burnish. This is not leather. This backing is not leather. It's not real croc skin. And you can see the edges are not burnished. You can see where they meet, right? So they're not sealed. That's going to happen whenever you do like brown croc backing and you try to mesh two materials together, such as this is probably vinyl, and then merge it or adhere it to leather. You can't, from what I understand, you cannot burnish it. So you hope your adhesive holds up over time. So this belt is going to be one that rarely gets moved because I don't want to see the backing peel on this. There is a little bit of a rough, see if I can, it's right there where I'm moving my finger, where it's not cut totally right. See that? So there's that. There's a few other little leather flaws, I guess, on this. I mean, I'm being nitpicky, right? But that's what I do. So there's a light spot there. It's not consistent with the color on the rest of the strap. And then over here, where is it? I guess that would be it. I'm trying to look. Yeah, that's it right there. So that is some of the natural tan leather bleeding through. But could that be a manufacturing error? Sure. Could that be somebody handling the belt too much and brushing it against something? Totally possible. So as far as flaws go, there's that. There's also a little bit of paint work here that could be a little better. I'm trying to find, I know it's on the top side of the W, but I'm trying to find it also on the bottom side because there was some of that. So like, where's my pen? You can see right on the very top, it bleeding over. The blue paint I'm talking about bleeding over onto the gold a little bit. That's not a big deal. That's something I could take a razor blade and use that backwards technique to scrape it off there. That's not a big deal. What is a bigger deal to me, number one, I mentioned he got the strap 99% right. And what would have made it right is had he not done these right here. Where's my pen? There it is. Had he not done these right here. These little, I call them parentheses because that's what they kind of look like, right? But it's supposed to come out and then go square 90 degrees up. And then when it gets to the top, go square and go 90 degrees back the other way. And I've seen that. The night after King of the Ring, they had Kane drop the belt back to Austin. And you see Austin at the end celebrating. He's got the, he's walked back up the ramp. He's at the top of the ramp. He's got the belt over his shoulder. And you can see there is that that you would see on the Smoking Skull is not there. It's just a clean 90 degree. And then there's also another photo of Steve I have where he's got it over his shoulder, but he's facing the camera. It's like one of those promo shots. And you can see that it's the same way. So that's the one detail I wish he wouldn't have done, just for accuracy's sake, but I'm not really too worried about that. The one flaw on here that I can't tell you what caused it. I can't tell you if it's a manufacturing problem or if it's the conditions the belt was in before it got to me, because climates are different. Some are more humid than others. But this is after glass cleaner and a microfiber towel, the jewelry polishing cloth, and another dose of glass cleaner and a microfiber towel. And you can see when I hold this belt under the light. Look at the sidebars. Look how textured they look. And around the smaller globe, you'll see it. You'll see it around the lettering, the Latin there. And then it's also on the other end too. So I've cleaned this belt 3 times trying to get that knocked down. I can't. Is it the end of the world? No, especially when you consider what I paid for it. Look, if this was a belt that I paid $800 for, I wouldn't be too happy about it. But this is a belt that I didn't even pay half that much, right? $300 plus shipping, $30 shipping. So I got $330 in this belt, and it's just going to go downstairs in the wrestling room and just live. So, not really too worried about it. But those are the few concerns I had. Number one, obviously he didn't do the tooling around the side plates correctly, and then the leather bleeding through a little bit, but that could be from mishandling the belt. The texturing on the main plate, and then I had a stone fall out, but like I said, I'm attributing that to the people at UPS that handled the belt maybe a little too roughly, because I'm sure it left Jeff's possession, in good shape. So to put a bow on all this, I'm happy with this belt, especially when you consider the price point. I'd like to check out a Nawaz belt straight from Nawaz, a brand new one, to see what I get. And until then, the next episode of the Belt Chronicles is next Sunday. We're going from the Oval Intercontinental from 1998, the night after WrestleMania when The Rock gets it, until Hell in a Cell 2011 when Cody Rhodes retires it and gives us the white strap Nugget Intercontinental. So I'll see you guys next week.